Hello, welcome to Agricultural Leadership and Community Education. I'm Sarah Bergquist,
I'm Roisin.
and I'm the instructor of this course. I'm faculty here in the Stockbridge School of Agriculture, and my focus within sustainable food and farming is ag education. So I am so excited to launch part one of this series and to have you in this class this fall. Roisin and I wanted to share a little bit about ourselves with you before we dive in. So I'm Sarah. I use she, her pronouns. And my top three favorite things to do right now are work in my flower garden, go swimming, and I collect Brazilian music and make playlists with that Brazilian music. Those are my top three. How about you, Roisin?
Those are really good. I'm Roisin. I'm a senior in sustainable food and farming. And my three hobbies and passions right now are baking, especially scones, walking in the woods with my dog while I play my ukulele, and being in the garden and growing lots of medicine and food and vegetables and herbs.
That's a killer top three. I look forward to hearing what your top three are. Our purpose of this little video is just to give you a visual overview, and a more fun overview than just an email of our course. We're still working out a lot of the details, but wanted to share some of the things that we do know with you right now. So, what to expect? You probably didn't imagine that we would all be online right now doing remote learning, and neither did we. So we are trying to make it as engaging as possible. And so it's a balance of planning and also creating some space for your voice and your opinions and your interests to come through. But we want to share with you a little bit about our objectives, which are to deepen your understanding of teaching and learning as it applies to farm and garden-based education. There are so many opportunities in this field, and we want to share some of them with you. We want to hear from you, some of you. I always learn a lot more opportunities from students as well. And so these are opportunities for like part-time jobs, for creating your vision for the future, for your jobs and future careers, and look at how education makes its way into nearly every aspect of our lives. And in this context, that will be farming or ag education, farm, garden, or ag education. So we want to practice skills that are needed in order to engage in this field. And that could be leading youth, teens, adults in a variety of settings. So that could be a formal setting, working in a school garden, at a public school or at a private school, or that could be doing farm-based education camps, working with a nonprofit that does educational programming, or maybe one day you want to have your own farm and you are going to do educational programming there. So we're going to practice the skills needed in a variety of settings, for a variety of settings. And you're going to also connect with other students in the major who are interested in agriculture education, like Roisin, as well as other folks, your peers, who want to explore this field a little bit more. You don't need to have had experience to take this. That's what we're all here for. And there's going to be a mix of us in the class with varying interests, all loosely under the umbrella of education. Oops. Okay, so this is a little overview of just a visual of the different sort of units that we look at together. So like I just mentioned, formal education and non-formal education being the main context that we're going to look at. But in order to do that, we're going to do an introduction where we look at all these things. We look at how our social identities impact and relate to who we are as educators, and also look at our own learning styles and how that impacts how we teach. So in order to do that, we have to look at some learning theories, and we're also going to practice so that we have some context. So all these things, like Roisin can probably agree, aren't happening linearly. They are going to all be happening concurrently. And so we'll get this introduction, and then we're going to be doing an exploration and practicing together as best we can. And how's that going to work? Good question, right, Rasheen? We don't really have all the details worked out, but in collaboration with Rasheen, we've come together up with some basic pieces, basic details of a format. So every Tuesday and Thursday from 10 to 11:15, we're going to have a live meeting on Zoom. So this is what's called synchronous, which means live. It's happening live. If you are in a different time zone and cannot regularly attend, we're going to have the recordings available, but I think you will get the most out of this course if you can commit to attending 10 to 11:15 a.m. on Tuesday, Thursday mornings. We're going to also have pre-recorded content, which are lecturettes. I don't like to give really long lectures, so there will be these short videos, lecture videos that I create, that Rasheen and I create, and that are that we curate, that are out there relevant to themes that we're studying. Videos, podcasts, lots of things will be used, and then also readings, of course, are going to be required. There's no textbook for the class. Everything will be available for you on Moodle. And Rasheen, will you read that last bullet point and talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we're really excited to co-create this remote learning experience with you. There's so much room to grow in what we're learning together. It's pretty amazing that there's so much there is to learn about education philosophy and theory. And I'm really excited to see each path that everyone chooses to go down, what everyone wants to study.
So we are going to create a space that strives to be a balance. We have a plan, and we want to hold space for what your emerging interests are. And we're going to provide an in-depth study of teaching and learning in ag and farm-based education, and we're stoked that you're here with us. This is a picture of our agriculture leadership and community education part 2 class that went remote last year, and we all had a great time. I can speak for myself only, but I think Rasheen would agree that we did a lot of cool things, and I learned a lot about teaching and working with Zoom. Still lots of room to grow and explore, but we're excited to do this with you. Before our first class, I know it's summer and summer's been cut short, so I'm not going to give you like a serious homework assignment here, but I want to we want to know more about you and your interests. So we have a really wicked basic introductory pre-course survey that we want you to fill out before the first class. This is going to help us organize guest speakers, readings, and the things that we bring in based on your interests as they are in this moment, knowing they might change. And we're going to ask you to also introduce yourselves, create an introductory Moodle post that you'll see a link to. So both these things are going to be linked up on Moodle, and you'll see the link for the survey also in this email. So I'm excited for the semester ahead. Rasheen, are you excited?
I am so excited. I can't wait to get back to school.
Yeah. So I know we're all balancing a lot, and we are surfing some intense waves of uncertainty, and I'm stoked to be along for the ride with you all. So we will see you in this virtual space on the 25th, Tuesday at 10 a.m. and you'll see the Zoom link. If you have questions in the meantime, please email us, and on that date, we'll also provide a more detailed schedule with the syllabus, with more details. And in the meantime, if you could complete the pre-course survey, that will help us make the syllabus even more collaborative and responsive to your interests. So have a great rest of your summer, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.